Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. We are just 2 minutes late today, which is great. I'm figuring out where all the buttons lie. Got the studio set up. I got bigger battles ready to go. Note, I still have my Redcoats versus Greenskin Xenomorphs. I have not had a chance to film that yet. I am working 70 hours a week, pulling the third shift, which is kind of brutal. We're going to get to Sneedville. Don't worry, but I want to cover a couple things first. We got 7 people in the live chat already. That's fantastic. Let me just say hello to some of my good buddies. Mr. Jeffro Johnson. Hey, in fact, that's one of the things. I'm glad you're here, Jeffro, because today I'm wearing my Kursova shirt, and I wear this proudly around town. For those of you that don't know, I'm going to work in a little bit of a commercial here. This is not a paid endorsement, all right? We take care of our bros here in the House of Wargaming. One of my friends is a fellow by the name of P. Alexander. He's the editor of this fine magazine right here. It's called Kursova. And the cover title here, this is a Spanish wizard on one of the Spanish Armada. They're about to go hit London, and the story is about the British wizards having to fight the Spanish wizards to keep the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church outside of London. So a little hard to know who to root for in that one if you're asking the guy wearing the rosary, but good rollicking adventure, kind of old school stuff. This is the kind of stuff that you won't find in Barnes and Nobles anymore. So give it a look. Kursova. He also is into the comic book stuff. Oh, and the reason I mention that is because look whose name we have here on the cover. Who is this? Jeffro Johnson. He's in the chat. Jeffro's here taking care of me, helping my engagement. Got to buy Jeffro's stuff. Jeffro wrote one of the best books I've ever read. But today we're doing a little plug for our bro Kursova. He's also got this Wild Stars, which is an over-the-top bonkers kind of pan-galactic multiversal comic book series. It's done by one of the all-time greats. I have almost the full collection of the comic books. I don't even know if you can get these anymore. It's called Wild Stars, but it's good stuff, man. Here we go. Here, a little bit of eye candy for you guys today. There we go. A little something for the fellas. And what I mean, it's a little hard to follow. I got to be honest with you, but there's more, right? You don't see covers like that anymore, do you? So go give Kursova a chance. It's got like sci-fi, fantasy. It's crazy, but it's great stuff. It's a lot of fun. Go check it out, Kursova. And I think we're probably good to go. I can show you a couple more things before we get into. Just give you the other hobby update. It's taken me like 3 weeks to get this. For those of you that haven't seen it yet, this is a 15mm spaceship. It is classed as a light cargo hauler. Forgive me, I can't remember what it's called. If you go on CoruscantMiniatures.com, they sell this bad boy. There is a little hinge on the door, but I've permanently glued it. See the little Universal Galactic Standard cargo hauler. It does come with a stand, so you can have it above the table, and it has quite a few options on it, actually. You can go with a more rounded nubby nose for a more pacifist, more mercantile ship. I went with a full-blown warship, and then, of course, with the hot pink and purple, I'm going with kind of more of a 90s California vibe on that than the typical grungy. And it's not quite done, right? This is the Black Raven. This will make an appearance in some sci-fi Fistful of Lead stuff, and I need to figure out where to put the Black Raven, and if they even want to commit to that. It probably needs some like standard, warning, pinch hazard, do not stand, that kind of thing. But overall, it's turning out really well. I'm very excited by this. It's a resin miniature. It's cheaper than you might expect. You don't have to use the landing gears. It does come with little inserts there, so you can make it look more spaceshipy. But like I said, I'm going to be using it as I'm going to be using it as terrain on my tabletop. So when it sits a little something like this. And let's not use the 10mm. Let's use the 15mm, guys, because it is really in 15mm scale. So there's a Redcoat to kind of give you an idea of exactly how big that ship is. That's pretty nice. And then there is a little door in there, but you can't see it because my lighting sucks. Anywho, that's what I've been doing like 2-3 weeks, because I've only got like 2 hours a week to paint these days. But I got time to hang out. I got time to start a new project. You guys want to see a little sneak peek of the next campaign that I'm going to be running? This is not for everybody. It's just for me because I don't know what I'm doing. Here's the map. We're going full naval. This is the Gathering Sea. It might look a little familiar to you. We've got, red versus blue, classic matchup. Okay. So we're going to go full naval battles. It's not easy. It has not been easy. This is a whole new genre for me. You know, we have a great time with fighting sail. If we generate battles, we'll probably use fighting sail. But man, I got some videos coming out about naval campaigns that are just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to need you guys' help to walk me through some of it, because some of you guys, to be honest with you, as a newbie trying to get into this genre for the first time, I'm a little embarrassed for this hobby. Thanks, McMurray. McMurray's the guy, by the way, that's kind of strong-armed me and bullied me into actually playing naval campaigns. He's over with the Wiley crowd. He hangs out with Wardrobe, plays World War II. And he said, you got to give it a shot. You got to give it a shot. And so I'm doing it, pushing myself hard. And I'm joking when I say he bullied me into it. He actually hazed me. There's a big difference between hazing and bullying. Remember that hazing is where you push your bro to new levels of excellence, where you push him beyond his limits. And that's the kind of thing that McMurray is doing for me. It's one of the reasons I like hanging out with you guys, because you do challenge me. You say, hey, get it right. So I appreciate that. Who else we got? Tiger Shadow is here to see the outcome of his multiple choices, which lie firmly in the minority. That's probably pretty good on this one. I got to be honest with you guys. I don't know what you're thinking. Operation Full Sneed ahead. I'm not sure. I-81 is right there. Oh, should we, for anybody that kind of wandered in accidentally and they don't know what we're talking about here, we're doing a, there we go. We're doing a map-based miniature war game campaign. We're setting up the battles together, and we're going to figure out what the two strategies for red and blue are going to be today. I have a little magnet board that we can move the armies around. Again, we have 3 options for the offense and 3 options for the defense. And I think if we come in a little closer, you can see the different colored discs, right? So blue is over here. This is Kingsport on the right side of your screen. Red is over here on the left side of your screen, and red is defending. This army right here is parked on Chuckville, formerly Sneedville. If the armies of Knoxville can take it back, they'll tear the signs down and put them back up saying it's Sneedville again. But for now, it's Chucksville. And we have 3 options for both guys. So let's not waste any time. Stick around when we're done, by the way, because we're going to talk about something going on in the hobby here in a little bit. And the whole hobby is zigging. We're going to zag. I got to warn you guys about something, but we'll get there. Charles Latorra in the house. By the way, most of you guys, for the naval campaign, I'm naming all of the ships after commenters. So we are going to have the boy, I wish I had some notes handy. I've got the sparkle. See? Blue sparkle, blue navy, huh? You got to use those mnemonics when you're gaming at this high of a level. You got to remind yourself. So, for example, the Red Nation is going to be the Red King's ship. That is the RKS. Who's in the house today? Latorra. What did we name after you, Latorra? I think we named one of the blue ships after you. The blue fleet has the... Let me look it up here. Oh, yeah, we named a 6th-rate ship after you, Charles. Who else we got? Young. Hey, Steve Young is in the house. Good to see you, Steve. We named, what did we name after you? I know we use that name. We named a 6th rate for you. Your ship is the Red King's ship, Young. There's Steve Young with the yo. Jeffro wants to know where the bird's at. They're being very quiet. They're behaving. I might go grab Ducky here in a little bit to show you how pathetic that guy is. Dartmart, you didn't rate this time. But I only have 2 fleets for each side. So as we add a 3rd fleet, then we will make sure and plug some more of you guys in. Jeffro Johnson, I think we named one of the ships after you. Yeah, 3rd rate. Your ship is the blue BNS. That's the Blue Navy ship. BNS. It's a 3rd rate. I think it's like a 74 gunner. And who else is in here? Tony S. Yeah, Tony. We have a. Is it BNS, Tony? I'm wrong. We didn't get you yet, Tony. We'll get you next time. Lackey. Did we name a ship after Lackey? That sounds familiar, but I don't think so. It's all about the comments, right? I just went through. So we've got the biggest ship on the board is going to be the RKS Morgan. It's a 1st-rate 102 gun ship. And then the biggest ship on the Blue Fleet side is going to be the BNS Meltzer. But they do have a couple of 3rd-rate ships. They've got the BNS Vidney and the BNS Johnson. So look for that coming up probably about mid-September. That'll give me time to, oh, I do. That's also my mouse pad. And then I already put my notes away. I know McMurray is one of our admirals, and I think he's the dumb one. It's all about the die roll. It's all about the D100s. Well, the Black Raven, thank you. So is McMurray that influenced you, who influenced me. And I went out and bought 6 Napoleonic ships of the line pre-painted, and the scale is 1 to 1,000. That's a great scale. Also, if you guys aren't watching, Historical Wargaming Noob is a channel on the YouTube. He is now getting into fighting sail as well. And he's doing the same thing I do, where he kind of, oopsie doopsies for the first couple of episodes. So you can kind of watch him learn as you go. Dartmart, will the Black Raven be carrying contraband weapons and, quote, pharmaceuticals? I don't know. No, it'll probably be carrying like vitamins and healthy food that has been banned by the horrible governments of the Galactic Core. Lackey, I didn't comment on your naval ones, but you've named generals for me before. Yeah, that's we work it. I just go to the comment section and whoever's first. Although if you're like, be cool, man. If you're not being cool, I ain't naming squad after you. So let's go ahead and resolve. Let's roll some bones. That's what we're here for, right? We're here to play a game. We're here to run through the process and see what we're doing. We have 3 different. We have 3 different. You know what I should have done here? If I was good at this, I would have used my phone, because I don't. Well, you know what I can do? I can kind of bumble my way through this. I'm going to share the screen here so you can see exactly what percentiles we do. For those of you that don't know, we have 3 different options for, and we'll just start with Knoxville. We've got Full Sneed Ahead, Hey Diddle Diddle, and Softly Softly Catchy Monkey. Those are the names of the 3 operations that our Red Army might face. I put a poll up on YouTube. You have to go to the community tab. There's no way to link directly to the poll, which is super fun and completely annoying. Share screen. And do we just do, let's just do entire screen. Can we do that? Or do we do that? Sorry, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. That's what the comment section is for. Let's try this again. Oh, no. My laptop is being delightful now. There we go. It's what you get when you run a $200 laptop. We're operating a high level. What am I going to pay $300 for a laptop for when I can spend $200? That $100 would be much better spent on a sister ship to the Black Raven, don't you think? So here we go. We're going to the YouTube channel here, and we are going to share. There it is. Can you guys see that? Can we do picture in picture? Yeah, boy. There you go. So there's your numbers right there. Full Sneed Ahead is at 60%. I'm going to roll percentile dice, and I'm just going to go ahead and do it inside this dice thing, because I don't know how else to do this. We've tried to do online dice rolls. It didn't work so well. So on a result of anything up to 60, we're going to do Full Sneed Ahead. On 61 to 86, it'll be Hey Diddle Diddle. And if we roll 87 or higher, it will be Softly Softly Catchy Monkey. And I'm going to turn that off so we can actually see in live and in charge. Stop screen. There we go. Okay, so we roll them bones, and we get, so I'm going to hold them down and tight. Oh, well, that's not going to work either, is it? I'll be very gentle. I hope that this works. This is the top. Oh, boy, this is great. We're doing the 63 is our result. So with the 63, we are going to go with Hey Diddle Diddle. You guys don't have absolute control. The plans that make the most sense to the most people are the most likely to be the ones that come up. But in this case, the dice didn't come up that way. So Hey Diddle Diddle. And we can even go to, I'll share my screen again here in a second. And we will share screen. And we are going to share a different tab this time, because this time we are going to share the Sneedville War. And now I can show you guys what the Hey Diddle Diddle looks like. It's going to look a little something like this. So as you can see down here in the lower left, oh, this one's a really weird one. Okay. This one might be a huge mistake for Knoxville. I'll get my screen here. All right. So as we look at this, we're going to stop sharing you. All right. So Hey Diddle Diddle, we have the 450 right here. We have an understrength regiment. We're going to bring the Army of the Pines down, and they're going to move towards Sneedville. That's the first one. The second thing that's going to happen is down here. I just want to make sure I'm doing this right. I'm scrolling back down. And before we roll the dice for the next guys, for the Kingsport, I have a question for you guys. In fact, let me ask the question now. In the chat, we're going to circle back around to this. Do you guys think I was way out of line for declaring that the Big Stone Gap was forced on, that the Knoxville was able to force Big Stone Gap on the second push? Should we have gamed it out a second time, or should we have let the miracle of Big Stone Gap stand? You know, they delayed this army by 2 or 3 days. That could be make the difference in the war. I just arbitrarily said, I want to keep the campaign moving. On the second attempt, we're going to use my playthrough, which was a surprise attack, which took the town without a fight. Was I out of line on that one? You guys tell me in the chat. We'll circle back around. But we're talking about hey diddle diddle. So we're going to bring both of these guys up to take these guys on. We are bringing the big heavy hitter. This is the largest army in the Knoxville's armory, is going to come down and sweep up in this direction. Really put some pressure on the southern flank. We're going to go ahead and attack the army of the Rogers army. So this was a fight. This was the Battle of Moreland Cemetery, and the smaller Knoxville army was able to defeat the larger Kingsport army, but did not pursue. They didn't completely destroy the army because they were worried about Green's army. Green's army had orders last week to hold the line. You are a reserve force. Don't spend yourself chasing anybody down. So that is what allowed this army to survive. The Rogers army only survived. It's stuck up against Cherokee Lake here. And now this is where things get really complicated. We know that Knoxville is going, this is the army of the East, is going to march north and try to keep them pinned up against the lake. The Rogers army's had a day to recover. This will be a second fight. This is kind of a long walk, so this could get interesting, and it really depends on what the orders are for Kingsport. What is Kingsport going to do? Let's take a look at we're going to share screen for the poll that we have right now for first week of October. Oh, and I should point out, in the last live video, I said those battles took place on October 28th. They actually took place on October 29th. Recovery on the 30th, September 29th. So we're going to pick up the action on October 1st. Now, October 1st is when Big Stone Gap will be conquered. October 2nd, the Harlan Blitz is going to take a couple of minutes just to defend the place. And then they'll be able to move out on October 3rd. Everybody else will be able to start moving on October 1st. We got to figure out delay is the way, HODL, and second wind. And I'm not going to show you what those look like. I'm just going to go ahead and roll the dice. And once again, we're going to go from top to bottom. On a 0 to 15, on a 1 to 15, delay is the way. Remember, Kingsport possesses that all-important Sneedville at the moment. All they got to do is delay. If they can hang on to that city, they win the campaign. HODL will be anything from 16 up to 66, and then second win will be 67 or higher. And I get a result of, if I could do this without, hopefully you guys believe me that I'm not using sleight of hand here. That is a 91. So Operation Second Wind is what we're going to go with here. 91. Operation Second Wind looks a little something like this. Share screen. Jamie, can you bring that up, please? Have you ever tried HTV What? I don't know. I'm not into that scene. Have you ever tried the thing? Also, I have maybe not a full head of hair, but I have hair. Kingsport, what are we doing? We're doing Operation Second Wind. Okay. Here it is right here. We'll click on it, show you big style. So in this case, Sneedville says, hey, you know what? I am going to take it straight to you. The army that is in Sneedville right now, that is Jones' army, fresh army, is going to march on over, bang, and we're going to have a battle somewhere in here. I'm not entirely sure where. It's not going to take long. It'll probably be on October 2nd or 3rd. We'll have to figure out our orders of battle. We'll have to figure out if the 450 can get up there to help out. Meanwhile, Rogers' army is going to slip across Lake Cherokee. They have about a half a day to do that. That could be interesting. And Green's army is now going to cross the frontier and take a more aggressive approach. So we have a complicated situation down here. Let's take a look at this right up close. We're going to turn this off, stop screen. So here's what we're looking at right here. This is complicated right here. Oh, so everything's backwards. Thanks. There we go. Everything is right there. We go. These guys are heading north. These guys are in pursuit. And Green's army is going to pull over to see if they can attack these guys. So these guys might be in trouble because they're going to be filtering across this bridge right when Green's army hits them. Now, Roger's army has orders for this week. They will obey their orders. They are going to continue marching north. It's going to put a lot of pressure on these two armies. It looks like these two guys are going to be converging and trying to wipe out this northern flank, secure that northern flank. In the meantime, this army is going to be sweeping down this way. So very interesting. I'm going to sit down this weekend. On Monday, we'll publish a list of what battles are likely to take place when. We'll kind of highlight the areas where those battles are likely to take place. The last thing we should talk about is the Harlan Blitz. And what's going on up there? Remember that we selected Operation what was it? Hey diddle diddle. In this case, the Harlan Blitz is going to march on Duffield. We could probably take a look at exactly what that looks like here. And I think this is worth looking at. This is kind of an interesting one. We are up in this northeast corner of the map right now. I don't know if you can see my mouse. The yellow flag is marching down. If they can get through Duffield and Gate City, they can wage war in Kingsport. If they have enough guys left over. Remember, like half of their available hit points, if you will, were destroyed in the Miracle of Big Stone Gap. We are running regiments of 750. If your regiment falls below half strength, 375 guys, you're out of the game. That regiment is going to have to withdraw. They're going to have to recover. It's going to take a full season. They're out of the campaign. These guys started with 600 in their foot regiment, and they lost 115, meaning they only have another 115 guys that they can lose before they're useless. Now there is a horse cavalry there as well, so that may factor in as well. But they've already been badly bloodied. This is a very small force. I don't know how much use they're going to be, and it's interesting that Kingsport is ignoring them. They're going to let the locals take care of it. And after what happened at Big Stone Gap, don't mess with those boys up in western Virginia. I tell you what, they might be right to do so. All right, what do we got here? Forgot to do it the other day. We'll be rooting for the good ship Jeffro. All right, so we'll go through some comments now that we know what's going on. Hey, Wardrobe, I named a ship after you. I think you missed that bit. I think I've named and I changed it a little bit. It's the Wardrobe. Oh, Fifth Rate, the Blue Navy in an upcoming naval campaign. And I think, since I got it out already, you're going to be under Commodore Nascati, not Commodore McMurray. And what do we got here? Yeah, McMurray is the kind of dumb one, but he's got a lot of initiative. So take that for what it's worth. Who's our smart one? Commodore Cross is probably the smartest, and he's very brave. He's Commodore for the Red Fleet. A little sneak peek for you guys there. Naval campaigning is where it's at, guys. This is the wave of the future. You watch. Before long, everybody's going to be doing it. All the cool kids are doing it. Wow. First face cam. Hey, Amarine. Thanks for swinging by. I hope you're not too disappointed. We're going to get rid of this little. What are you doing? What are you doing? Thanks. Microsoft really wants me to log in. I don't want to log in. But I actually got the Old Glory 12400 models. That way I avoided the hassle of rigging, mass, and all assembly. I think I'm doing the 12400 too. I went with Tumbling Dice, though. Great customer service. Good-looking stuff. Full Sneed ahead just sounds cooler. I know that's... Hey, it's as good a reason as any to pick which one you're going to be rooting for, who you're rooting for, right? It's got a cool name. That's why I used to root for the Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, American football. Hold on, I don't screen. I feel the need for Sneed. I don't see this. Which screen could you guys not see? All right, well, I mean, hopefully, I don't know why it wasn't. I apologize for that, you guys. If you go look, you can double check me. Go look at the percentiles right now. And again, just so we understand what our next week of movement is going to be, because I know you can see this screen. The Army of the West is going to be coming up south of Lake Cherokee. We got these two armies are headed for Sneedville. Army of Jones and Rogers' army are going to be converging on these two units. The Army of the East is heading north across Lake Cherokee. Can they make it before Greene's army gets there? Can the Army of the West get into position? They may be able to pinch Greene's army between the two, or maybe Rogers' army and Greene's army pinch the Army of the East. Who knows? It's anybody's ball game. And then, of course, the Harlan Blitz is going to continue their march. Now, I will point out, we have a number of white roads up here that you could, if we had just a little bit more space up here, and if it wasn't for this big ridge in the way, Harlan Blitz could march overland and just ignore some of these sieges. Unfortunately, and naturally enough, the towns are right on the convergence of all these white lines. So in addition, what we could have done, because they got to get through Duffield. But once the Harlan Blitz gets to Duffield, if they change their mind and they decide to streak across country, that horse unit can follow this white line. Now, they move at cross-country speeds, but they do have that option, right? On this map, because it's all anywhere there's not a road is basically a ridge several hundred feet high that blocks the movement of armies. So what we did is we decided that these little white roads are moving cross-country. Does that help, guys? Do we understand what's going on now? Big Stone Gap should be done as a movie. It's funny you say that, Dartmart. If you look it up on the internet, there is a movie called Big Stone Gap. It has a shocking lack of cavalry charges and a whole lot of romantic comedy, which, come on. Don't they know? I want to see the reenactment, right? Somebody last live stream said, we should rent a bus and we should go tour all these battlefields and confuse the locals. We could talk about, we could stand on the hill, go, I remember when the cavalry came up over that way. And the people will be like, these maniacs, a bunch of weirdos. They're not wrong. Randomly selected plan versus randomly selected plan. So we know one of our ninth. Run through the comments. Don't worry, Wardrobe's here. He can pull it up and do DMT. Oh, DMT it's called. Right. I believe that is an illegal narcotic, and we don't go for that. We are teetotalers. This is our drug right here, baby. This is our dopamine hit. Look how good that looks. Isn't that good? The dumb one with the initiative. That sounds about right. Sorry, Wardrobe. Luck of the dice. But again, the dice are wise. You got to trust them, because I can't tell you how many times you think the dice come up. They just there's a symmetry to the world, that things kind of fall into place where they should. Naval campaigning is the bee's knees, says McMurray. Hitting your email back tonight took a couple of days. Yeah, no, I get it. By the way, I'm in talks with Jay Wiley to go on his show and talk about solo wargaming. I've got some thoughts on the subject of solo wargaming and why the card-driven activation of Fistful of Lead is the bee's knees, as you say. And I've got some, we're going to do some deep dives on his show. I'm not sure he's ready. I don't know if he understands what's about to hit him, but there are some aspects of solo wargaming that I don't think get the attention they deserve, outside of maybe, the guys over in Rule of Carnage, Mike Hutchinson and the other guy. Glenn Ford. They go into this stuff and they go way deeper than I do even, but I think we can do some new stuff. I've been watching Drek NFL. Yes, he's one of the bigger naval wargame guys, and I listen to him all the time. He's got the perfect, so there's in the historical miniature YouTube space, there's this balance between this is the miniature wargaming and this is the history. And so, there's a little thing where I want, my personal taste is I want mostly wargaming with some history for context. And Drek NFL kind of hits it really well. I think he kind of balances it maybe a little too much. Lately, the Little Wars TV guys have been kind of a low rent history channel mostly with, hey, maybe we'll do a little war game. Their campaign is fascinating. I really like what they're doing with the Pyrrhus maybe the cosplay's a bridge too far, but for a while there were like, low rent history channel with maybe some miniatures, and I'm more like, can we do that? So Dracunifil hits it in my opinion. I think he's a little bit better. And he's absolutely. McMurray says he is the GOAT, which there's a reason he's got like 100,000 subscribers, right? Thanks for the grognards, cream of the meme. Thank you for that. The locals would love us running around their property. Well, can you imagine storming some? Yeah, we're going to go to eastern Tennessee, and we're going to go stomping around some farmer's field. We're going to go up into the hills where they do moonshine and other pharmaceuticals. Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. Jim Alzarski says, solo wargaming, this will always puzzle me. It's you're going to have to turn into the interview, because this is a fractal hobby, and it doesn't matter how many decisions you take out of the process, you still have the same number of decisions left to make in that gaming space. I know that sounds weird. Let me say that again. It doesn't matter how many decisions you take out of the process, you have the same number of decisions left over. I'm going to save the rest for when I'm actually on with the Wiley Games guys. These guys right here. All right, one last thing I want to mention, and then we're going to get out of here. We're only half an hour in. We're going to cut a little early. Like I said, I'm running hard, and we need to have a little talk, you guys. Before we do, I just want to say, look, see this game, right? War Games, Soldiers, and Strategy. This particular one, the Terror of Royalty. I mean, they're really weird because this is about the French Revolution, and it takes the strange position that the blood-soaked revolutionaries were the good guys. I don't know, but I like this magazine. I have. Look, they have a fantasy, right? I buy this. I'm a supporter. I like these guys. They do monthly podcasts that are very interesting. They talk to interesting guys. Oh, Burgundy and Might. Oh, that's good for my, the historical and miniatures. There's a lot of good stuff. I've run scenarios from War Games, Soldiers, and Strategy. Right now, they are asking for your help. They want you to go to their website and tell you all about your experience with the hobby. They have a poll that's running. It's like the Great Wargaming Survey, and all of the big channels are peer pressuring you to go in and tell them everything there is to tell about you and your hobby. If you haven't gone there and filled out that survey yet, don't. I warned you we were going to zag. Everybody thinks this is the greatest thing ever. Oh, we gotta be stand up and we gotta be counted. No, you don't. Don't fill out that survey, and I'll tell you why. There's two reasons for it. The first is it cannot do you any good. That level of market research is great for the companies. It's great for people that are trying to make a buck. It's not going to do you yourself any good. And part of the problem with that survey is that they're going to take that data, they're going to bundle it up, and they're going to make it available to the public. That means normies, and that means giving that information to people who do not like our hobby and do not like us. They are asking you to hand people who don't like our hobby a weapon that they can use to make fundamental changes to the hobby in order to make it appeal to not us grognards, not us miniature wargamers. The problem with miniature wargaming is that all of the wrong people like it, and we need to bring in lots of the right people. Well, call me crazy, but I think the right people for miniature wargaming are the people that like miniature wargaming. And if you're talking about making fundamental structural changes to the hobby, GTFO. We don't need that. Don't talk to the cops. This is classic legal advice. Nothing you say can be used to help you. It can only be used against you. Don't talk to the cops. Don't fill out that survey. If you've already filled it out, don't feel bad. I filled it out last year, and then I saw what they were doing. They were giving it to Ivy League, like academic ivory tower types who were eagerly preparing stories about how the hobby can be fixed if only it wasn't filled with so many, old white guys. Old white guys are great. I really like them. Like most of my friends are old white guys, and they've done a lot of really good things. I welcome anybody that wants to come in and join the hobby. Don't move the furniture around. We are in a golden age of miniature wargaming right now. You can game any era, any style, any way you want. We are at the dawn of a new era of 3D printing. I don't think it's there yet. But the fact that we have been able to completely democratize this hobby, it is no longer a hobby in which you can only secure figures for the eras that justify mass printing. You can print whatever you want in your basement. You can go online and ask somebody to print anything you want. There's a lot of really interesting, obscure little fights. Like there's always been people trying to proxy the War of the Triple Alliance, right? South America. People have always been doing that, and people are still doing that, and it's fascinating. But now you can even get figures for like the War of the Flowers, right? Pre-contact, it's New World pre-contact wars. That's fascinating. We're right where we need to be. We don't need to make these structural changes. Just don't do it. Okay. The other thing, if you don't believe me that this is a mistake, if you don't, and again, before I give you the second reason not to fill it out, I like these guys. I think they're nice guys. I buy the magazine. I listen to their podcasts. They have taught me so much about this hobby. God bless them. I love them. Their heart is in the right place, even if their head is not. These guys are trying to sell hot dogs, and they want to sell as many hot dogs as possible. They want the hobby to grow so that they have a much larger market. There's nothing wrong with that. However, don't dumb the hobby down. Don't make wholesale changes to what it means to be a miniature wargamer. I'm planting my flag and I'm saying no, I won't be doing that. And if the term miniature wargaming changes to include, I don't know, crochet, right? And you might think this is hyperbole, and it is a little bit, but not really, because other hobbies have gone through this. I could honestly see 10 years from now, a couple of little old ladies, knit one, purl two, knit one, purl two. I'm having so much fun with my miniature wargaming hobby. See, we just call crochet miniature wargaming, and now everybody knows that I do the high-level brainiac stuff that miniature wargamers do, because I'm miniature wargaming, knit one, purl two, knit one, purl two. It's happened in a lot of different hobbies. Let's not let it happen here. So here's the other thing, the big red flag: don't fill out the survey. In fact, anytime you're asked to fill out a survey, and the key here is they need you more than you need them. They need you to stand up and take the time. You're taking time out of your busy life to fill out this survey. And what's the second thing they ask? So the first thing they ask is, how old are you? Oh, that's reasonable. What's the second thing they ask? They ask you to deny God's wisdom and to adopt a worldview that says, if God makes a mistake, just wish hard enough and you can correct God's mistake. That's not the world we live in, guys. And when people demand that you ascribe to this worldview that says, hey, what do you think you are? No, that's not the way this works. And I can't tell you what the actual question is because of I'm in YouTube here, right? This little window here is very prescribed. The people that run this site, very, very, they're very sensitive. They're the neo-Puritans who are constantly on the lookout for someone to throw under the bus. I'm not going to let it happen. I'm not going to tell you exactly what the question is. But if you go look at it and you look at the way they phrase that question, you will see that before you can do them a favor, you have to commit to saying that there are 4 lights. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you read that first page of questions and you don't think there's a problem, you're not going to make it. If you read those questions, you go, wow, this second one is really weird. Oh, well, I guess I'll just check it. It's fine. It's just a little thing. It's not a little thing, guys. Maybe it is a little thing, but little things add up to a big thing. This is your opportunity to say no to the little thing so that when they come after you with a big thing, you're prepared. You're ready to say no this far and no further. Don't fill out the survey. Next year, if they ask a reasonable question like, are you a bro or are you abroad? Answer away. There's no red flags. But for this year, you read that second question and just if you get that kind of skeevy feeling, just leave. You don't need to do that. You're helping them. All right. So there you go. I'm done. That's it. If you want, I gotta go. If you want to meet one of the birds, I gotta go out into the room and kind of drag into the living room and drag them out. There might be a little bit of dead air, but we'll catch up on some comments here first. Solo is in my future, says, who is that? And I'm just going to hit it. You know, some of this, you know, a lot of these channels, they like focus on this and it interrupts the flow of the things. So we like to, here's my big rant about, you know, be true to yourself, be true to the Lord, you know, just say no, right? You shall not pass. I am the guardian of the sacred flame of Anor. Support Guy and WSS. Yeah, absolutely. I do think Walkabout Games, I support Guy. I support WSS. Like I said, I've learned a lot from him, and but I think he's way off base on this one. I just think that you know, he's Dark Mart makes a great point. In this new upside down world, if you're wealthy and pass it on to your kids, the good guys are the ones with the guillotine. Every time you 3D print, Games Workshop sheds an acid tear. You love to see it. Nice guys fear the people that are willing to light them up. And it's not even lighting them up. Just say no. Just walk away. You know, one of the reasons I don't... Where's... I bought this used for $50. You know how much money Watsy got out of me? Nothing. They told me they don't want my money. They don't get it. I'm fine. This is why I support these guys, right? These guys are cool, man. Wiley Games right here. These guys are great. And every time one of these big companies, every time a Wizards of the Coast or Steve Jackson says, we don't want your money, I say, fine. I don't need you guys. We live in a golden age. Even if it's just you and Mr. Wargaming swapping ideas, that's all we need. Once there were only 11 of us hiding in a dark room scared of the authorities. And look at us now, huh? Bryce Byerly wants to know, how many colors does my hair have? Less than your average, you know, scenester. It's not quite as gray on that side, is it? I think I might be getting some reflection off the window too. Steve Young says, GB Mr. I don't know what GB means. There's the how many colors Star Trek. I was just thinking about that 4 lights bit from Cream of the Meme. I was just thinking about that 4 lights bit from The Next Generation as an allegory for you know what the other day. We like allegories here in the House of Wargaming. We love allegories. We love allegories like a fat kid loves cake. Tiger Shadow, just say the question. Just name them. Oh, no, you're not going to get me. I'm not sticking my, you're wanting that meat grinder. You guys want to meet one of the birds? Talk amongst yourselves. Holy Roman Empire was holy. It was Roman. It was an empire. Voltaire was stupid. So this is this guy you hear screaming in the background all the time. We're going to take a little pause. So this is the other hobby I've got. We adopt birds. Now, you all have met Biscotti. This is Ducky. When we first got Ducky, he was a very quiet lad. He just kind of quacked like a duck. He is some kind of cockatoo. You know, the big giant birds with the big frill? That's what he is. And he just wants attention. He was... the club that I'm a member of, it's a rescue organization. We found him out in the wilds, and he had been sorely neglected. You can see that he has very few feathers. He does not look great, but he has new feathers coming in all the time. He actually has more feathers than when we first got him. And he walks with a limp, or she. I think it's actually a she. Yeah, big. You want to dance for him? Because whoever owned this bird before it escaped into the wilds, the bird broke its leg, and the leg didn't heal properly. And then he also has, I don't know if you can see it. We'll zoom in. He's kind of derpy. His beak is asymmetric. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, buddy. There we go. So yeah, he was malnourished, understarved. He's probably gained a good 3 or 4 pounds since we got him. And he is the loud one. He just wants head scritches. Can you dance for the people? You gonna headbang? There goes the frill. Come on. He's like, I'm not your dancing bear. I'm not even a bear. So anyway, that's Ducky. I want to thank you guys for coming along. We will Holy Ramen Empire. I'd fight for that. Yeah, I would stand for that. Submit to ramen. I'm really sweaty today too. This is where me and the British guys we're like, like that meme with the two guys shaking hands. It's crazy hot, and I don't have air conditioning. Hawaii and Great Britain were like that on that score. There we go. Get a chit chat. So we're gonna have to have his beat ground down. He's very loving, but he's not for us. He's just a foster until we can get him healthy, get the growth coming back in, and then we will find a permanent home for him. But he's got a little bit of yellow in there. All right, say goodbye, Ducky. Say goodbye. Can you say I'm praying for you? No, he may learn how to talk, but for now, we're just trying to get him healthy. And whether he's going to say it or not, I'm praying for you.